President Park Geun-hye vetoed the revised National Assembly Act, and the growing discord between the ruling and opposition camps is causing turmoil. The National Assembly overcame partisan deadlock to pass an urgent bill on the prevention of infectious diseases such as MERS, and the government will offer loans to stimulate the country's economic engine. We bring you economic policies projected for the latter half of this year. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Friday, June 26th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye has vetoed the revised National Assembly Act and blasted both the ruling and opposition camps. Now the ball is in the National Assembly's court, but the growing feud between the two opposing parties is causing turmoil.
The ruling Saenuri Party decided not to reconsider the controversial revision of the National Assembly Act after nearly 5 hours of heated debate. Instead, the bill would be automatically scrapped at the end of the 19th parliamentary session.
다시 돌아온 국회법에 대해서 우리 당은 이제 표결에 이렇게 응하지 않기로 그렇게 뜻을 모았습니다.
If the Speaker of National Assembly Chung Eui-hwa exercises his authority to hold a re-vote, all Saenuri Party members will reject the revision by not voting. The ruling party appears ready to bear clashing with the opposition in order to prevent discord within its own party.
대통령의 제2 요청에 의해서 특히 당청 관계가 어려워지는 것 결코 원치 않습니다.
Speaker Chung also hinted at the realistic difficulties even while proposing to follow the law and rethink the bill. Meanwhile, the New Politics Alliance for Democracy ripped into the president, calling her stubborn and self-righteous. The NPAD also called the Saenuri Party's decision as politics of betrayal.
의회민주주의와 상권분립이라는 헌정 질서를 배신했습니다.
The NPAD has also decided to boycott parliamentary sessions until a new date for resubmission of the bill is set.
The National Assembly has been in a state of near paralysis since President Park Geun-hye vetoed the parliamentary law revision bill. But the urgent bill on the prevention of infectious diseases such as MERS was passed by the ruling and opposition parties. The MERS outbreak in Korea spiraled out of control as health authorities delayed disclosing information on hospitals and infected patients. On Thursday evening, the National Assembly passed the so-called MERS law bill on the prevention and control of infectious diseases. The new law mandates that the Minister of Health and Welfare swiftly disclose information on patients' movement routes, means of movement, and hospitals that provided medical care to them when infectious diseases threatening public health spread in the nation. Under the new law, authorities will also be permitted to request personal information such as resident registration numbers and medical records of people who become infected or are suspected of infection. However, credit card information and videos taped by surveillance cameras will not be disclosed due to controversy over human rights violations. The central and local governments, as well as educational superintendents, will be required to share information on the latest developments in the outbreaks of infectious diseases. The new law also legally designates MERS as a communicable disease. It also bans false testimonies and the concealment of important information to prevent missing the critical time in containing infected people. With the economy taking a 1-2 punch with struggling exports on top of the MERS outbreak, the government will offer loans to stimulate the country's economic engine. Here are some economic policies projected for the latter half of this year.
The government's economic policies for the second half of the year are focused on preventing the economic growth rate from falling below 3%.
활용할 수 있는 모든 재원을 총동원할 것입니다. 이를 통해 올해 경제 성장률이 3%대를 유지하도록 최선을 다하겠습니다.
To that end, the central government has decided to release more than $13.5 billion. It will issue more government bonds to expand the budget, use more public funds, and make investments in public agencies earlier than planned. It also plans to induce local government bodies to spend $2.7 billion more. The money will go into dealing with the severe drought and MERS shock and create more jobs. Ultimately, the aim is to reach the 3.1% growth target for this year. The government has proposed some measures to boost Korea's slumping exports. In order to encourage Korean exporters to do business abroad without financial constraints, financial subsidies from such public agencies as the Korea Trade Insurance Corporation will be increased by $12.6 billion. Following a consultation with the ruling party, the government is slated to present the budget plan to the National Assembly early next month.
On Thursday, a man in his 70s fell from the 9th floor of a studio apartment building in Seoul. Luckily, he managed to survive thanks to a net that was installed in the building.
This studio apartment building is located in Seoul's Gangnam district. Firefighters carefully approach a net installed on the 6th floor of the building. They are trying to rescue a 73-year-old man surnamed Shin. Shin fell onto the net from the 9th floor. He did sustain some injuries in his back, but he is in stable condition thanks to the net. This building has a structure similar to the one where the accident occurred. It also has a net installed in the open central area. The managers of the building installed it voluntarily to ensure safety. But many buildings still do not have nets because their installation is not mandatory. That's why some are calling for stronger regulations on the installation of nets to prevent accidents. Installing nets and other safety devices on the rooftops of high-rise buildings and on bridges can also help minimize accidents.
More and more people are using automatic car wash systems at gas stations. There have been numerous complaints about facilities scratching cars, but very few consumers receive compensation for the damages.
This car owner stopped by a gas station on his way to work to have his car washed in an automatic car wash machine. But he was dismayed when his car came out of the wash.
내렸는데 이제 차가 기스가 나 있는 거예요. 엄청 많이 나 있는 거예요. 그래서 이제 관계자랑 이제 불러가지고 이거 봐라.
The gas station maintains that it cannot give compensation for the scratches.
저희가 보상해주는 게 뭐가 있어요. 저희는 부분을 인정할 수 없다라고 말씀드렸잖아요.
Complaints about damages sustained from automatic car washing machines are growing in number. From 2013 to the end of May this year, the Korea Consumer Agency received 430 complaints involving car wash systems. Damages occurring in automatic car washing machines at gas stations account for 87% of those complaints. But only 20% of the machine operators recognize that they are at fault. Drivers should show existing damages or scratches to car wash machine operators prior to washing their vehicles in order to cut down on such disputes.
A military choir consisting of reserve officers, public servants, and media workers debuted on Thursday at an event marking the 65th anniversary of the Korean War. Take a look.
A choir of gray-haired men energetically sing a military song. It's about their strong determination to protect their country. This military choir, consisting of some 40 members, including reserve officers, public servants, and media workers, made its debut at an event marking the 65th anniversary of the Korean War. The choir performed well-known songs, but they sounded fresh both to the performers and the audience.
전쟁할 때 또는 훈련소에서 그때 그 노래 부르던 그 추억이 새삼스럽게 떠올라요.
Since the choir's founding in 2013, its members got together twice a month to practice and improve their skills.
평생 35년 가수 생활한 사람이라 그냥 쉽게 하려고 그랬더니 안 되겠더라고요. 그래서 긴장하고 열심히 연습했습니다.
Now that it has made a successful debut, the choir will visit frontline units to perform with young soldiers and deliver supplies.
Iron, rough and rugged by nature, has been used to create artwork for over 1,000 years. Art pieces using iron are drawing renewed attention these days. Follow us through this art tour.
An iron Buddhist statue stands sublime despite being erected 1,000 years ago. It's a masterpiece of the time, testified by the perfect proportions and sophisticated work on its details. From the iron pagoda and the 12 animal deities of the zodiac to the iron incense burner, every single work demonstrates the amazing craftsmanship of our ancestors. Here in this studio, a sculptor breathes life into scrap metal. Iron plates are being thoroughly welded together. An art piece gradually takes form by the blazing flames. The world's largest iron sculpture, standing almost 23.6 meters high and listed in the Guinness World Records, was also produced by this very man.
여러 가지 단어들 있잖아요. 재밌다, 귀엽다, 갖고 싶다, 저 작품 주변에서 사진 찍고 싶다. 그런 반응들이 너무 좋아요.
Rough and unshapely scrap metal are literally transforming into creative artworks to the wonder of viewers.
More and more news of idol group members leaving the band. Wonder Girls will make a comeback as a 4-member band with 2 of its original members out. And there's also a rumor that FX member Silly may also exit the girl group. Here's our Culture News Roundup.
The Wonder Girls will make a comeback as a quartet in August. Former members Geun-hye recently delivered a baby in Canada, while So-hee also left the group last year when she transitioned to a new management agency to help her acting career. But another original member, Sun-mi, who had left the group in 2010, has returned. In their first comeback in 3 years, the Wonder Girls will perform as a band playing their own instruments. The internet rumor mills are abuzz with reports that girl group FX member Sully may leave the team. Following her rumored departure to focus more on acting, Sully's management agency has announced that nothing is decided yet, and as her contract remains in effect, she will prudently decide on her future course. The producers of the domestic blockbuster Ode to My Father, seen by over 14 million moviegoers, paid a hefty bonus of nearly $630,000 to the film crew. Director Yoon Jae-gyun kept his promise, which he made even before the film's opening, to accurately calculate the profits from the movie and share them with crew members.
Bean sprouts are known for their high nutritional value and nice, crunchy texture. Recently, farmers have been growing a new variety of bean sprouts, 4 times as nutritious as regular bean sprouts. Take a look at this new shade of bean sprouts. This farm in Yangpyeong County, Gyeonggi Province, grows green bean sprouts. This new variety is cultivated differently from regular yellow bean sprouts. Unlike yellow bean sprouts, which are covered with a black fabric during cultivation to block the light, the new variety is exposed to light. LED lamps are used here to replace the sunlight. Green bean sprouts have the highest nutritional value when they sprout out due to photosynthesis. Green bean sprouts have been found to contain 4 times as much asparaginic acid and vitamin C as regular bean sprouts.
아스파라긴산과 비타민C가 들어있는데요. 이러한 것들은 숙취 해소와 피로 회복, 면역력에 도움이 됩니다.
Green bean sprouts are easy to grow at home. First, pierce drain holes in the bottom of a disposable cup and fill 1/3 of the cup with beans that have been soaked for 1 day.
초록콩, 서리태, 백태, 쥐눈이콩, 이 콩 어떤 콩들을 써도 초록콩나물이 가능합니다.
Use beans of a medium size because large beans can have a poor texture. Water the beans every 3 hours up to 5 times a day. Keep them in a sunny area. In just 1 week, you will see fresh green bean sprouts that are ready to eat. Cooking green bean sprouts is also easy. In Korean cuisine, bean sprouts are usually used to cook a refreshing soup. First, boil radish, anchovies, and spring onions. Then, blanch the bean sprouts in boiling broth. Boil them briefly for about 3 minutes to keep the texture crunchy and the nutrients intact. Season the soup with pickled shrimp. Add the blanched bean sprouts and boil briefly just until the sprouts soak the broth. Now the refreshing green bean sprout soup is ready to eat. Green bean sprouts, which are easy to grow at home and have a high nutritious value, will add variety to your daily diet. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.